Hello everybody, Malakith here, and welcome to my quick video on A Shooter Born in Heaven. Now, this is a very annoying quest for mechanic, and a few people made a few comments on my customs only video of my attempts to do the customs part of this, saying that the spots I showed them really helped out. So I thought, why not do one that covers all 4 of the maps, showing the Twitch clips from when I was doing it. I was doing it over a period of weeks. Anyone who was there live will know that some of them are more frustrating than others. I can at least show you the spots that I managed to get the kills from. I can cover a few of the different weapon loadouts I was trying, and also a few of the spots I didn't really find that helpful and why. But I'm not going to go into too much depth on all the possible places. There are plenty of videos out there for that. So across the run, there was about 4 guns I mostly used. Obvious one is the Mosin. There's several Tarkov shooter quests that the Mosin. And so it obviously synergizes quite well with trying to get the Shooter Born in Heaven stuff done at the same time as just generally doing other quests. There was the SVD, which ties in with the Punisher Part 6 for Grapple. We're trying to kill PMCs with an SVD, so you'll see that in a few instances. I'm not sure if I ever actually got any of the kills with an SR25 or one of the other 7.62 rifles, but I did use that for quite a few attempts. But finally, the one that I actually really enjoyed and was surprised with is the one on the screen now, which is the VPO215. I was pretty much running the same loadout you get when you pick this up off of one of your scav runs. Sometimes the scav can spawn with it. It's just the cheap old Pillad 4x zoom scope on it. I would usually add a rotable 3 silencer to the end as opposed to the protection cap, but that was about it. Ammo I was using was Echo. I will show you that in the trader in a moment. But the main reason I was using it is if we do find parts. So buying it from a vendor, I'm never sure why when you come to the screen it tries to sell you the barrel and the thing because they're already clearly on the gun. It comes in at about 63,000 rubles, and that's for the scope and the silencer included with the gun. By the time you get there with a Mosin, that's quite a bit more expensive. And I just was trying to do budget runs, mostly for woods, where I didn't really take anything but this gun in. Very rarely does it get taken because people look at it and just go, what's that? I don't want that. And so you get a lot of them back. If something does get taken, it's usually the silencer. Occasionally they'll take the scope as well, but because it's pretty much the standard scope, they're really not that worried about it. So it was just a good way of kind of insurance frauding your losses back. So looking at ammo for the 366, the earliest, cheapest round you can get is the FMJ. It has a muzzle velocity of 580 meters per second, which is the same as the much better round, which is the armor piercing one. However, compared to the Echo or EKO, which you can get at tier 2 and very cheaply, that has a muzzle velocity of 770. Which means you should get a lot less bullet drop, so you can take those longer shots with a bit more consistency. It has 30 pen, so it should do fine against most people because you're going for headshots anyway. If you miss the head, then it's pretty much over. So being able to more consistently get those longer shots off was my preferred thing, and the price of it, you know, it kind of argues for itself. You're not really losing anything if you do happen to drop a magazine to this. So 1 magazine in the gun, 1 magazine in your pocket, a stack of this in your container. When you reload, you top it up out of your container, you don't lose much. You could arguably go for the armor piercing if you're going to use it in places where helmets with some of the higher visors are common, but I did manage to get this through visors, and you'll see in one of the kills coming up. So it's not too bad. In times where I was not running the budget loadout, you will almost exclusively see me using this Voodoo 1:6 rifle scope. It is by far my favorite. It just has really nice handling for the 1x zoom sort of level, but also is very consistent and has the very nice mil dot system, which you can see through the scope there for the longer ranges. So the first map we're going to take a look at is Woods. Now, Woods suffers quite horribly from the weather. If you end up in a very foggy day, you're going to really struggle to see from a lot of the spots. A lot of the fighting obviously happens around the lumber camp, and it I found it really depended where the other people in your raid went. It was very much potluck on if you ended up on the opposite side of the lumber camp to the other people who had decided they wanted to come and have a sniper fight. Several times you'd get in position and then someone would come running up and basically dive in the bush next to you because they had the exact same idea. Meanwhile, you see absolutely nobody the other side of the lumber camp for the whole run. So it was very much hit and miss, which is why I adopted that budget run of using stuff I didn't really care about. So I would get into position. If nobody came, I would then try and make my way to the exit eventually. And if I died on the way, I wasn't too worried about it. So the first kill is going to take place from up here at Deadman's Place. You get some quite nice sight lines all the way across the lake if you've got probably one of the higher power scopes like the Voodoo, or even a higher zoom than that. You can get some nice shots on people at the rocks at the top, or all the way along the rocks towards the bottom left of the lake, especially the bushes on top of one of rock outcroppings around here. But also it lets you shoot into the back of people on your own side of the map if they happen to be a large set of rocks northeast of the lumber camp, which is where you'll see this kill take place. Well, hello. Show me that little face. So moving on from the first kill to the second one, we now effectively take the place of the person we killed in the first kill. It's obviously a different run because the weapon's changed. But sitting atop that rock, if you go right on the top of it, you're very exposed and can see a lot of places. If you hunker down just a little bit, you can restrict your view and see nicely across the beach, which is where you'll see this kill take place. You can also monitor the rocks and possibly off across the lake without exposing yourself too much to the south of the map. But it's not a great place to be. It was kind of an opportunistic kill more than sitting there for any real length of time. Someone's way behind me, like down by the bunker exit. One, was it a PMC? Yes. Was it a... And the final kill is almost the reverse of what I mentioned for the first kill. So in the first kill, we were sat in Deadman's Place with a good view across the lake. This time we're up in the top near the RUAF roadblock, laying down beside some of the rocks up there, which shields you from people spawning on the west of the map. I believe a couple of times people ran up really close. You could hear them just the other side of the rock, and then they just carried on, and we just ignored them because we were really after those 100-meter kills, and didn't really want to sort of give ourselves away or get into a scrap up close. But it gives you a nice sight line of the beach, the big rock that we got the kill from the second kill, the rocks you got the kill from for the first kill, and as in this case, a unusual angle straight down across the lumber camp itself, which is where we picked someone off near the forklift. So Twitch wants him to watch the Xbox Games Showcase even though he's never owned an Xbox. I mean, so many of their games are now dual release. Yes, you better clip that, you bastards. We are done with woods. So to sum up woods, there's a lot of effective places, but it relies heavily on you getting lucky with people being on the other side of the map and wanting to engage in the kind of fight you are wanting to engage in if they're a more static target, or just happening to path themselves in a way that sort of reveals them to you with a good angle and a good shot. There's no real one place I found that got me a lot more kills than anywhere else. It was just variable raid to raid because it's such a wide open place with so many angles that people can come from everywhere. So unfortunately, no winning secret there for me. So the next map we're going to be taking a look at is Customs. I believe the Customs expansion went in after I'd already finished the Customs portion of my quest, but I could be wrong there. Either way, I believe the position that I generally use for this is probably even more effective than it used to be. And for those who have seen the previous video I made, they will know it is just here next to the bridge on the railroad to port. Now, we very nearly got all 3 kills done in the first raid. One person was slightly too close, so the 100 meters didn't count because they were 95 or something, roughly. You've got great sight lines from this bridge. You can look at people fighting the scavs along this road. If they start coming down the hillside towards you, they do start getting a bit too close. So beware of anyone too near to the bridge if they come down this hill too much. They're hugging the wall though. You can get 100 meters. Anyone further along, you're golden. Of course, you can also watch this far crossing, which is very, very exposed. If you can get the leg shot off, if you're not confident in the headshot, then they should be hobbling and you should be able to finish them. Equally, some people will like diving off into this section of bushes over here and trying to set up their own ambush, which is absolutely perfect as they'll be stationary for you. You can also keep an eye on the RUAF roadblock exit, providing they don't sort of obscure themselves behind truck, lay down too much. I'll just roll the 3 kills back to back. The only thing I'll say is the good things to watch are these barrel caches, because obviously people go stationary to loot them. No. Stay still. Stay still. Shooter born in heaven. Done. So that was Customs. I really didn't try too many other places. Before the expansion came out, I did try laying on top of the porter cabin over here in construction, because it has a nice view down the road under the railway bridge, or down the main road towards the T section. Also, you can see across to dorms. I'd say that's probably a bit too risky now. And you'd arguably get better sight lines by going into the now opened up construction building directly behind that, which has better angles, better height, better cover. But also, because that is now available, it draws more attention to that area. So it possibly just isn't a good place to go anymore. Okay, we are on to Shoreline, or Snoreline as the vast majority of my stream are calling it, for my many attempts to try and get some PMC kills on this map. The biggest problem you'll have here is finding a PMC to shoot. It is so big and so many possible routes for people to take. It's just difficult to find a target a lot of the time. Especially as everyone gets drawn towards the resort in the middle, and a lot of them will just go in there and die in there. You kind of either have to get them early at the start, or hope you pick them off when they're trying to leave. So the first kill I've got takes place down here at the lighthouse. Now there is something very unusual that happens when you're on top of the lighthouse, which is if you look towards this river crossing bit here, the vehicles won't spawn in, but you can see people there. So there were a couple of instances where I was shooting at somebody that to me was in the complete open, and to them they were behind a vehicle, and so they could hear the shots hitting the vehicle and I could see the shots not hitting them. And they would sort of look at where I was shooting from, but wouldn't return fire because to them they obviously couldn't see there was a vehicle in the way. So that's something to be very wary of if you're going to use this location. It's almost not worth engaging anybody that is at the river crossing part of that road because there are vehicles there that you cannot see. It's often a telltale sign that you can see the little sort of engine smoke cloud of the broken down truck, but you can't see the truck. Where do we think that was from? I'm going to go within the woods off that way somewhere. Gonna say it was some form of M4 maybe? Oh, hello. I saw that. Bitch. Yeah. So the next two kills both are based on this rock formation just to the west of the radar tower. If you spawn at the arch, you could get here first. It's sometimes worthwhile looking to the south at the road to see if you can catch anyone spawning at the crane coming along the road. Otherwise, I just found myself looking towards the west, trying to catch anybody coming up towards the power station, or much later on in the raid coming down from resort following the river to try and get down towards the pier. The second kill here was an attempted engagement, which I will show a bit of a clip of. They then broke away, looped around and were down here, and then I'll show you a bit longer of a fight because they, the two of them, attempted to bait me into shooting enemy at the gate style, but it didn't quite work out for them. I won't play the entire thing, but we did also get the second guy, just not with 100 meters. What's that? That's those two guys. Crap knows where they went. He had a good helmet on, whatever that guy was. They're running those new stims. I possibly could have got a headshot and it not have done anything at all. Well, it would have done something. It just wouldn't have killed him. Yeah. Oh no, hang on. His friend was watching for it. There he is. Gotcha. And for the third kill, we are back at the same location. I was busy having a bit of an early morning rant about how this map design draws everyone to resort. And just that there isn't any loot anywhere else to really take anyone anywhere else. And then someone just sauntered straight into view. Completed the quest for me, at which point I promptly ate my hat and left the map. And have not returned. Because it was the last thing I needed to do on Shoreline. Unless that's what you're going after, which squashes you into a little section at the bottom of the map. And then that's a high traffic PMC hunting zone. Well, that shooter born in heaven done. He was freaking looking at me as well. Cheers, fella. Well, be sure to come get your dog tag. So to summarize Shoreline, your biggest problem is going to be not having the sight lines, but finding people to go through them. Probably your best bets are right at the start of the raid, catching people if you get a good spawn. For example, if you were anywhere up near House at the Hill, you might be able to catch people from Road to Customs pushing to Resort. If you get one of the more eastern spawns in downtown, you may be able to catch people coming out of the village. Mid-raid, you're basically going to find nobody. The offset being, depending at what point in the wipe you are, you might be able to spot people going for various quests. So you've got the sniper rifle drop in the boat down on the coast, or you've got the various drone boxes and things people need to find drives and stuff in, which you may be able to cover. I just found this set of rocks next to the radar tower. Didn't get anyone creeping up on me. Gave me nice sight lines, and you usually caught people in the area because you could either hear them shooting at gas station here, you could hear them shooting at the power station, so you knew where to focus, ready for when they did put in an appearance. And then there's a nice big open area for you to take the shots at. But it also leaves you plenty of scope for falling back and moving away if you need to. And now we're on to the final map, which is Interchange. Now for this, I wasn't attempting to take any of the sort of semi-automatic rifles and go indoors, which is entirely viable. You can sit upstairs and camp down towards the graphics cards rooms and all the other electronic stores and try and fire the length of the corridor and get some headshots that way. There's a few other spots that are quite nice down near Ollie and Ideas End as well. Just out across the main sort of atriums, but I stuck to the outside. So the first kill is on the notorious little overhang sort of area out the back of Ollie. Generally looking towards the Emacom, but in this case he was coming along the fence line and didn't get anywhere near as far as the exit. This was using the budget loadout, and he did have a face visor, but the echo round went clean through it and took him out quite nicely. No, tasks. Yes! He saw me, but I shot first. No Han Solo for you. The second kill, similar location, different run. I had a much different gun. I believe it was an SVD. This time, the targets were milling around more to the left, as in coming down from the power station. One was just dancing around, fighting somebody in the road, went off to the woods. While he was looking towards Emacom, he made the mistake of sidestepping perfectly lined up, and I just managed to get that nice headshot off. We did also manage to kill his friend, although unfortunately it was not a headshot. It got him, I'm sure, sort of almost into the throat. It was classed as a torso kill. So I didn't quite get that final kill I was hoping for after such a long, sort of protracted sniper fight with him. Fortunately, one of them did have the killer helmet though, so I got a part of the quest done, so I can't complain too much. Now, the final kill happened in the north of the map near one of the, or in one of the advertising towers that you can climb up. It was very, very early in the map. I had literally just spawned. I had the closest spawn to that tower, and I knew people spawned behind me over by the railway. So I sprinted up that tower and watched the corner of the go-kart track. Because people like to not go across the go-kart track. They will come along the fence line. And that's where we got the very last kill for the entirety of Shooter Born in Heaven. Well, that's Shooter Born in Heaven done, and that was the quickest run to get one done I think we've had so far. So to sum up Interchange, it seemed from like a lot of runs, if you're going to do the outside sniping, the times you get kills are right at the beginning, if you can get into a position to snipe people as they all run towards the building, or at the end when they're extracting. The whole bit in the middle of the raid is just dead. And of course, extracting, there are a lot of ways out of this building, so you do naturally gravitate to, I'll say, extract camping without being, you know, you're not 10 meters away looking only at the extract, but you are looking at the vicinity of the extracts. I don't really like it, but they opted to put this quest on this map. Stick it on reserve. Instead, you'd have a much more sensible playstyle for it, but there you go. That's what the quest is. But to sum up, hopefully that was useful to somebody, anybody, and good luck in your own Shooter Born in Heaven quests. I'm sure I'll remake one of these next wipe and try to apply what I learned this time to do it in a more timely fashion. Probably combine some of them with a few of the other quests so that I'm not wasting quite so much time, woods especially. There's a lot of stuff you can get done at the same time in woods. Anyway, hopefully you enjoyed yourself. Thank you for watching, and goodbye for now.